Sing this with me. When you're up, when you're down, when you smile, when you frown, I will help you get through. I will be there for you. I will be your friend. I will be your friend. Oh, you got me and I've got you. Yes, it's true, 'cause I will be your friend. I want to be your friend. I will be your friend. That's it. Come on. When you're feeling mighty blue, when you don't know what to do, just pray to God, He'll bring you through. Yes, He will. 'Cause He will be there for you. God will be your friend. Yes. God will be your friend. Jesus loves me and you. Yes, it's true. Yes, God will be your friend. Oh, God will be your friend. Yes. God will be your friend. Jesus loves me and you. Yes, it's true. And God will be your friend. Yes, it's true. God will be your friend. Oh, God will be your friend. Oh, He wants to be your friend. Oh, yeah.
Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. We're starting a new Bible story today. Jesus is our friend. That's the name of the story, and we're going to talk about this guy. He couldn't walk, and he needed his friends to help get him to Jesus. You see, Jesus was in a house teaching and preaching and healing, and it was in a town called Capernaum. And this guy that couldn't walk, he had some really good friends that had to take him to Jesus because he couldn't walk. Let me show you here. See, this poor man, he had to lay on a mat all day. He couldn't walk. So when they heard that Jesus was nearby, they knew they just had to get their friend to Jesus to see if he could heal him, right? Well, let's read a little bit more about that story, okay? Jesus had gone to a town called Capernaum and was talking to a lot of people in a house. Everyone was listening to Jesus. Just then, 4 people came into the house. They were carrying a man on a mat. These friends wanted to bring their friend to see Jesus. Well, the house was so crowded, there was no way they could get in through the door. So they came up with a better plan. They decided to lower their friend down through the roof. Wow, listen to what Jesus did. It's pretty amazing. He told the man who couldn't walk that his sins were forgiven. Some of the important teachers who were there, they didn't like to hear that. Can you forgive this man's sins? Do you think you're God? They asked. I'll show you that I'm the Son of God. I can forgive his sins and tell him to get up and walk. So Jesus turned to the crippled man and said, stand up, pick up your mat, and go home. Everyone was so glad that Jesus healed the man. Jesus became the man's friend. Jesus is our friend too. I'm going to show you a video. It's going to tell the story again, okay? And you're going to love it because it's a cartoon, and I love cartoons, so I know you will too. Here, watch this.
Hole in the roof. Today's memory verse is from Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24. It says, there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. The message for today's story is we serve God when we help others. Some things you can't do by yourself, and when you need a friend to help you, you're always glad one is there. It didn't take long for word to spread. People everywhere soon heard that Jesus could heal sick people. Everywhere he went, big crowds came to hear him teach and to be made well. One day, Jesus was teaching in a house. A lot of people had come to hear him. Many of them were very important teachers who had come from all parts of the country. They crowded very close to hear Jesus. Other people had come to see Jesus too. They had come to be healed. But they were not considered very important, and because the house was so crowded, they couldn't get in. They just couldn't get close enough to Jesus to ask him for help. One man was paralyzed. That means he couldn't walk. He couldn't even move by himself. He was there because he had friends who had carried him on a mat. But because there were so many people in the house, they couldn't get in. So what could they do? This man's friends were not about to give up. They had come so far, and they were determined to get him in to see Jesus, even if the crowd wouldn't let them through. The next thing he knew, the paralyzed man was being lifted up into the flat roof of the house. His friends tied a rope to each corner of the mat he was lying on, and then they began to take the roof apart. Before he knew it, the paralyzed man was being lowered through a hole in the roof, and he was coming down right in the middle of the crowd, right in front of Jesus. Jesus knew what the man wanted. He wanted to be forgiven and made well. He knew what the man's friends were thinking too. They wanted their friend to be well, and they knew Jesus could heal him. The man who couldn't even sit up by himself watched Jesus. He didn't even have to ask to be healed. Jesus said to him, "You are forgiven. Get up, take your mat, and go home." The man jumped up, grabbed his mat, and ran home praising God. Everywhere Jesus went, big crowds came to hear him teach, and many came to be well. Jesus helped them all. Jesus wants you to help others too, and he will help you to do so. All you have to do is ask him.
That was a good story, right? Well, do you know that back in the Bible days that people used the roof of their house for a lot more than just keeping the rain out? Do you know that it was really hot where they lived, and in the summertime they would go up on that roof so that they could feel the cool air? They could sleep a lot better with cold air up there. They also kept their tools up there. They dried grain and fruit up on the roof. There's a lot of things going on people's roofs. We don't do that today, do we? We don't store our tools on our roof, or we don't sleep on the roof, right? But back in Jesus's day, their roof was a storage place. It was a gathering place. And you know that they even prayed on the roof? They did. They did. Well, you know, those guys that helped carry their friend to meet Jesus, that's being a really, really good friend, right? We should be good friends to others too, and we should bring them to Jesus. You know how we can bring people to Jesus? We don't have to tear a hole in the roof and lower people down into it to meet Jesus. Jesus is in our hearts, and he's everywhere, and we could talk to him anytime. He's our friend, and he wants us to show others that we're good friends to them too. So anything we got to do to get people to Jesus, get our friends to Jesus, right? Even if we have to climb up on the stairs and climb on the roof of a house and remove the tiles so that we can lower our buddy down into the crowd so that he can see Jesus. That's the kind of friend I want to be. You guys, I love you. You have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, everybody. So, we're going to talk about our craft for this week, okay? Well, in our story, this man had some really, really good friends that brought him to where Jesus was healing people. And because the house was so crowded, what did they have to do? They climbed up the stairs and they climbed on the roof, and they started removing the tile so that they can make a way through the roof so they could lower their friend down and to see Jesus. It's pretty neat. So can you get some blocks out and build a little house? And then let's take the roof off, okay? So now we have an opening down here. Now we're going to lower our friend into the house to go see Jesus, just like in the story. So let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to make a nice little mat for this man to sit in, and we're going to lower him down into the house to go see Jesus, okay? So if you can get some egg cartons, scissors, some tape, string, okay? You're going to cut 2 of these off, okay? And then Miss Rhonda just taped some string to the inside of that egg carton. And then I taped it to a stick on the top so that I could wind the stick up, right? Okay, like this, okay? Then our friend. We're gonna put our friend in the basket so we can lower him to Jesus, okay? Look, he's in the basket there. Oh, here we go. We're gonna lower him down into that house so that Jesus can heal him. Oh my goodness. Can you guys get your blocks out today and some of your dolls and pretend like you're telling that story again? Oh, that'll be so fun. Miss Rhonda's had fun building her house here, getting her dolls out and playing, right? So maybe you could get some of your stuff out of your toy room and go ahead and tell this Bible story to your mom and dad using your dolls and your blocks, okay? All right. Have fun playing today. I'll see you next week.